Hello YouTube, hope you're all keeping well out there. It's been a while. Yeah, been away from the tubes for quite a while. I've been still watching YouTube and making the odd comment here and there, more so recently with the comments. I've just sort of, yeah, just been really busy, sprinkling of not really feeling it, bit of illness, nothing major, just chest infections that didn't really hit us hard or bad, but God, just shaking the thing. So I think we've had it about two months now, and we're just at the very end of it. So yeah, stuff like that. I've been playing lots of games though, and this is obviously the reason for this video. It's a very late video response to, I know Retro Red Steve did this, covered this one, Metropolis, Matt, and some others. Forgive me, I can't remember. There's a couple more videos that I've watched, and yeah, like I say, it was a couple of months ago, or a good month ago, that this video set was doing the rounds. So I'm late to the party, but yeah, I've been playing lots of games. I've been hitting the Master System quite hard actually, and just as a heads up, so I don't explain all this in the next video, but I've been sort of playing a lot of Master System and a lot of games, and sort of consolidating the collection as well. It's been very good to sort of purge the games, and cathartic as well. I've been feeling really good about it, going through the games and playing certainly the Master System ones anyway. I don't know if I'm going to go through by system. I might do, or just the ones I play and I don't like. I've always said it, if I don't like the game, I'm not feeling it, or it's dated, or it just doesn't play well, or whatever, it's gone. So what I've been doing is I don't know if you can see it actually, our Master System collection is probably going to go down. Maybe 40% of them is going to be sold on, but these are games that I can just go and play. The other ones, for some reason, just don't really gel. They're dated. Even some of my sort of nostalgic games, I'm kind of, you know, they're a bit on the fence. Some of those, they're just nostalgia rules, doesn't it sometimes? But some of the other ones just simply don't play well. They're, you know, like brutal or whatever, and it's just, they're not going to be fun for me to pick up and play, and that's what a lot of these games are about. So I'm moving them on and making some dosh as well that can go into other things, and that's another thing as well. Recently we've been doing a lot of development on the house, so this will be helping out with some finances as well, and I plan this year to be a kind of cathartic purge of some games, just some of those filler titles or games that just don't connect with me. Some of them are probably considered quite good, but if they don't gel with me, or I don't have I don't have any sort of connection with them nostalgia wise, or whatever, they just don't play well, then I'll move them on. So that'll be a thing. Where was I? Yeah, I've got stuff down here, you probably can't see it, all laid out ready for a pickups video. So that's going to be taking place hopefully in the next couple of days. I'll film it. I've got everything out, all in order. A lot of toys in there as a little heads up. And it was due to be an August-September pickups vid, but obviously here we are in January, so it's going to be an August-September, September, October, November, December pickups vid it's going to be. And surprisingly, I thought it was going to be much more than this, but it's not too bad. I'll try and go through it quite quickly. But anyway, that's a video coming up. It's in the pipeline. Back to the video at hand. Now, I've played a good few games this year. I'm only going to include games in my top 3 for 2024 that I've completed. And just because it's games that I've played in 2024 doesn't mean they're games that necessarily came out in 2024. But that's my little rule I've set up for myself for this vid. I've got a couple of honourable mentions. It's on the newer systems like the PS5, there's just been so many remakes, and some of them have been quite good, like the Resident Evil 4 remake, which was really good. But when I played it, it's different enough to feel fresh, but it's still very much Resident Evil 4. So they did a cracking job on that. You know, it's how you do a remake. But again, it wasn't a fresh experience, so I'm not including that. And Dead Space, that was the same sort of thing. Made it a bit different, tweaked the mechanics. Some of the scares are there, and you know, it reminds you of the old game, but there's some nice differences as well, and that was good. And another one I'm going to give as an honourable mention is Returnal, which I started playing in the summer, but I haven't finished it. It's a very brutal game, very difficult. I've probably got about maybe 80% into it, I think, because you do different sort of worlds, and I think I'm 6 out of the 8. I don't know if that's accurate, because I haven't been playing it since the summer. I'll put it down, I pumped in about 60 hours into it, and I've only got that far, but it just shows that it got its hooks into me and really enjoyed that game. Anyway, on to the top 3 games. See, still got a cough. So I'm going to start with, it's a retro and 2 modern ones. And they're all adventures, they're all RPGs, or action RPGs. The first one, I don't have any sort of game to show you because I don't own it physically. It's a game that's been on my bucket list, my top 10 bucket list, so I can tick that one off now, scratch that one off. And it is, I'll use this as a prop because this is where I played it, is emulated on my 3DS system, so this is hacked. And it's Chrono Trigger. Fantastic game. Really, I've got a nice solid memory of it now, finishing it when I went away on holiday with my family up to Ross on Wye, and it's got a nice piece of nostalgia in there, and it's got a nice place and time in my mindset. But yeah, fantastic adventure. Always really liked the look of Chrono Trigger. I've attempted to play it a few times and got a little bit into it, and then for some reason just stopped. And all of this was via emulation, more on my MacBook. And I thought, no, I'm going to go for it this time. I really fancy playing it, and it was just this huge adventure. Obviously, most people are in the know. It's a time travel. It's got loads of time traveling aspects to it. You build up loads of different members to your team, your party, that you can sort of swap in and out, equipping them all with different weapons and upgrading them, and obviously their armors and things. You know the drill, typical sort of action RPG fare. But the music's glorious in it, the pixel art, it's just a game that's aged really well. And I always argue that 16-bit pixel graphics have aged really well, even to today's standard. There's just such a charm to them and an artistry. And again, the music is fantastic. I've got a snippet of the soundtrack, but I wouldn't want to get in something like a complete collection. But again, they're quite rare and quite pricey. So yeah, fantastic game. I spent probably, if memory serves, again, I finished this in June of this year. So I think I spent about 50 hours on it. Anyway, long game, really, really good. My next one, at number 2, is another action RPG in the spirit of Zelda, and it's Tunic. What the look of this? It's got a lovely kind of flat, polygonal, minimalist art style. Very colourful, very sort of edgy, and lots of hard shapes and things. Lovely art style, lovely music again. And I think that just this year it shows that I've been yearning for adventures or something. It's obviously tapping into my deep psychology of wanting to get away, and just I've been busy and just wanted to escape basically into these beautiful worlds, and they're all beautiful worlds in these 3 games. But yeah, lovely art style, harkens back to Zelda format, and in this you just sort of plonked into the game, and it doesn't really explain anything to you. Even you can look at the magazine in here. This is the special edition. Got this in Smith's, really good price. But it's got a free PS5 upgrade, so whenever I see that on the game, I'll always get the PS4 version, because then I can at least play these games, if I so wish in the future or whatever, on my PS4, which is in a different room to my PS5. So it just covers a couple of consoles. Anyway, it's tricky. It gets really, really tricky going into it. But as I was saying, you start off and you sort of plop down to this sort of island environment, and gradually you uncover what it is you need to do, and the story aspects and the elements and where you need to go, and you pick up pieces of literature, which is basically your game manual in here. So it tells you the controls, story elements, and you discover all these things as you go, and I quite like that aspect about it. But yeah, it's a tricky game in places. It's not a walk in the park, but really good, and yeah, just a fantastic adventure, full of colour. And my last one, and by no means least, I was in and out in which version of this to play, and it's Dragon Quest XI. Now I've got the standalone PlayStation 4 version, and I did a little bit of research without any spoilers to see what one people really recommended, because I knew it was a whopping great adventure, and it was. I clocked this in at about 116 hours. Yeah, at least I've been away playing lots of games as well, which has been good. And I plumbed for this version, which is the Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition. So this was released later on the Switch, and this is the Switch version that's been ported over back to the PS4, but with some bells and whistles as well, some increased resolution and extra whiz with lighting and load times, and yeah, just a little bit more pop. But in this version, you've got the full orchestra version, whereas in the vanilla version, if you will, the original PlayStation 4 game, it had MIDI, I believe. And there's other things in this. You can switch on the fly between a 3D and a 2D version of this. And there's some other sort of gameplay bits and a few extra levels in this. But my God, what an adventure. Again, fantastic music in this, a beautiful art style. And one thing I was a bit worried about, you do get this sometimes in JRPGs, and I feel it anyway. I find sometimes the inner chatter, the characters and the storyline and the vocals or the speaking aspects of the game are very kind of, I don't know, just annoying, a bit cringy. But in this, the voice acting is excellent. The characters you really get to know and love, which is great. There's a good bond with the characters. The inner chat is like quite decent. So that really made it for me, especially when you're spending 110 hours plus on a game. One thing about the music is that whilst it was excellent, and I mean really, really good, a lot of it plays like all the time. There's never a quiet moment in this game, and that I think went a little bit OTT. I think that there would have been something quite nice in some of having a bit of silence and just letting the environmental instruments and environmental sounds of the game just come into the foreground rather than just music all the way through. And it's really bombastic. And it's just, yeah, sometimes it doesn't feel appropriate for certain situations. It's just very loud. I know you can turn it down and things, but... And the other thing with the music is that it runs for quite short times, running times, so then it loops quite a lot. So yeah. But anyway, that aside, the music is really good. This game was fantastic. It's such a massive story, and just when you think things are sort of like coming to an end, or you'll go on to like this other storyline, or it'll progress some more. But loads of great environments, loads of lands to investigate, and loads of loot to collect, and lots of upgraded weapons and things, and yeah, I just loved all that. And there was a nice, you get the typical sort of map where you're in a ship later on, and you go around the map and you can warp, and it just speeds things up a little bit, and some incredible boss fights, gorgeous graphics, really. And that was the thing I was a little bit concerned of coming from as a Switch port. But it really did shine on this. Highly recommended game. I did lend this to a friend, but I should have lent him this version. For some reason, I've gave him the vanilla version, and this is the one he wants to play. So I didn't think I would have this to show today. But yeah, Dragon Quest XI, highly recommended. Loved it. And again, it just must be a sign that I just fancied massive adventures. You kind of need to pick your battles, don't you, with some of these really long RPG games, and yeah, that's what I've been doing a lot of, just spending a lot of time on some nice escapism, going on massive adventures. So there you go. Let me know what you think, if you played any of these games, what you thought to them. I know RPGs aren't for everyone. Again, it's a big time sink, isn't it? So I get that, but I love my RPGs, and there's a massive list that was building up, so I'm glad I've hit 3 of them that I really wanted to look into. So as I said before, a pickups video will be coming up hopefully in the next week or so onto YouTube. I've got to film it, but everything's laid out here. I've got no excuses, just bosh on with it. So until then, everyone take care. Hope everyone had a fantastic Christmas, etc. And already it seems a bit late saying that now. We're nearly a week into the new year. 2025 sounds so science fiction, doesn't it? But yeah, all the best for the new year, people. Take care out there, stay safe, and I'll see you again.